The Mak'gora between Thrall and Garrosh will forever live in infamy in the lore of Warcraft. On one side, you had Garrosh, the recently deposed war chief of the Horde, who went toe-to-toe with the Alliance and nearly destroyed the values of the Horde in the process. Then, on the other side, you had Thrall, the man who defined those Horde values and set Garrosh on a downward spiral that culminated in this very duel. And so, the two fought, not far from where they first met years ago, and Thrall walked away the victor, correcting the biggest mistake he had ever made. It all reads like poetry, really, but for the longest time, the Mak'gora between Thrall and Garrosh left us with a lot of divisive rhetoric in the community. The chief of those being, of course, when Thrall struck down Garrosh using the elements, that was illegal. Thrall cheated. Magic is forbidden in a Mak'gora. Time and time again, this argument comes and goes, and time again, it is wrong. But in order to understand why it's wrong to accuse Thrall of cheating, you must first learn what a Mak'gora actually is, which is something many seem to have neglected to do in favor of false narratives. So today we ask, what is a Mak'gora, and what are its rules? So a Mak'gora, meaning Duel of Honor in the language of the Orcs, is an ancient Orcish tradition dating back to the upbringing of a wild Draenor, where an individual may challenge another to single combat. Now, a Mak'gora can be invoked for any such reason. It can be used to redeem oneself, like Saurfang's duel with Sylvanas. It can be used to hash out differences between two individuals, like Garrosh's first duel with Thrall during Wrath of the Lich King, or, which is usually the case, a Mak'gora would be used to challenge one for a position of leadership, like Cairn's challenge to Garrosh or Orgrim Doomhammer's challenge to Warchief Blackhand. And that's really all there is to it. It is just a duel between two adversaries. But what about the rules? We know that a Mak'gora stems from the Orcs, and we know that the Orcs are a honorable people, and in order to have honor, there must be rules to define the terms of what is and what isn't honorable. And so obviously, there had to be rules to a Mak'gora, and there are, but outside of one rule I will address soon, not any are overtly restrictive to the participants. And this is because, while they are an honorable species, the Orcs strive for liberty over all else, and as we should all be aware of, liberty means the freedom of choice and the freedom to do what you wish without any other person's say in the matter. So the rules and regulations of a Mak'gora are mostly up to the participants. For example, if we look at the duel between Cairn and Garrosh, the terms they set for themselves were as followed. One weapon, a blessing, was allowed by an elder shaman. No armor, only loincloths were allowed. Each participant must have one witness, and combat was to the death. Anything else was off the table. However, I did mention that there is one constant rule that all Mak'goras must follow. Once a weapon has been dropped, it may not be picked back up. We see this in Garrosh's duel with Thrall. Both lose their weapons, and neither retrieves them until combat is over. Quick side note, if you go back and watch the duel over, when it pans out from Thrall's departure, it almost looks as if Garrosh was attempting to reach for Gorehowl, which is against the rules. Thought I should just mention that, but really, when it comes to the Mak'gora, most duels are not like that of Cairn's challenge to Garrosh, Thrall's duel included. Most of the time, the terms of a Mak'gora are never even set until just before combat was initiated, if at all. And we can see this in Saurfang's duel with Sylvanas. Sylvanas established the use of two blades, so Saurfang took up two of his own, but neither declared a reason for the duel, neither declared if it was to be to the death, they just kind of went and fought. And the same goes for that infamous duel I keep going back to. Thrall Thrall and Garrosh never set rules, and thus there were none in their Mak'gora. Everything was permitted, including magic, for there are no terms ruling it as illegal. So, with all of that being said, no, Thrall's use of the elements was not illegal, as he and Garrosh, to our knowledge, never set the terms. And I'm just going to address it here because I know someone will say it, because they always do. Thrall's waning abilities as a shaman is not because he used his power against Garrosh dishonorably. If anything, Thrall has come to doubt every choice he's ever made because of how everything ended up. He's practically lost all of the confidence that made him a good leader, and without confidence in yourself or your actions, many are less likely to follow you, the elements included.
I refuse to fail him, like I failed his father. I wish I could change it all. Cairn, Garrosh, Theramore. Sometimes it feels like I did everything wrong.
So no, Thrall did not cheat. Stop throwing around false narratives and put it to bed, please. If you have any questions or comments about this video, Warcraft, or its lore, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to read each and every one of them. Thanks for watching.